Yo, yo, yo. We back in Ski's Opinion. This is the show about everything, nothing at all. Me, your host, Ski, go over his opinions on today's topics and give my opinions about what I think is going on in our world today. So, we are going to start off today's topic at WAP. Bop. No, stop. No. So I guess we can start today's show with Dame Dash and Cam Ron. First, I guess I'm gonna start with Cam. Let's go. Everybody seen the show. Everybody seen Adrian Broner, my man AB, about business, you know, about billions. How you say? Um, Seen him on It Is What It Is, Cam Mace and Stab Baby. Dope show. Love the sports show. I get most of my information, commentary off games that I miss um, from this show. It's a black sports show with a little twist, hip hop commentary here and there, everyday situations, and talk about what's happening, right? So this week, past week, Adrian Broner came on It Is What It Is podcast. And he got on there and he was one. I will say he was one. Like, Cam kind of let him know, hey, brother, we understand, your feelings. Adrian was trying to shoot a shot at Stat Baby. Everybody can see Stat Baby's an attractive woman, you know, but you do have to understand and take the hint when it's not being reciprocated, and then not even just that, y'all at work. So Cam ended up having to kick AB out the show because he kept shooting his shot. Bam, bam, bam. He was missing, but he was shooting. So he kept coming at her. Oh, you look amazing. Oh, you da. Cam like, okay, bro, look, we gotta get to where we gotta get to. So he like, oh yeah, no, I'm just saying I'm mesmerized by stat. Okay. Cam said her boyfriend here, he kind of let him know, you can't do that. Stop disrespecting this woman. Um, she played it off very well because I didn't see the she would say, I didn't see the uncomfortability in her um doing the interview. So she played it well. She laughed. She thanked him, for the compliment and all of that. But he kept going with it. And it seemed that he was forewarned, like, hey, bro, my boyfriend's here. It's disrespectful. It's kind of distasteful for you to keep going when she's not even shooting that at you. But also, like I said, she's at work. Wasn't the time for it, even if you felt like you wanted to get at her. So my man Cam said, I warned you, bro. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. So he gave my man the boot, the pink boot. Dead in the crack of that. Pulled out his bag, snatched out, some stacks, counted up some bread for him, told him I'm gonna pay you for your time because I value it, even though Adrian wasn't valuing theirs when Cam said we gotta get to the show, and you wasn't even being respectful when the man was telling you to let it go. Let's wrap it up, bro. Leave that alone. So he was like, I want to do it again. And Kim like, nah, bro, I already warned you. We ain't trying to hear that. You gotta go. He like, no, no. They said, no, you do that, out there. You can wait for us after the show over if you want to or whatever. But I'm gonna pay you for your time. But you gotta go. I told you too many times. I told you her boyfriend was here, and it's just disrespectful what you're doing. Adrian face is what got me, guys. Did y'all see how he was looking? He was asked to leave. The dude is not expect that. He did not think that Cam was gonna actually kick him off the show. He thought he was gonna be able to keep pulling the antics that he's been doing for years. That's the type of person that man is. And everybody should know. Y'all know ABA, very cocky, flashy, confident type dude, and feel like he can do and say whatever he want to say to anybody. He want to say it too. And he got taught a lesson. I gotta respect Cam, you know what I'm saying? That was gangster, brother. Not even just that, that was a man thing to do. Like you recognized and you understood that this woman was uncomfortable with him doing that. Her boyfriend's there, bruh, as well, I'm assuming, and you didn't like the disrespect, that he was showing even after being told that, her guy's here. You gonna keep on doing this? Gotta go. AB was stuck like, sick as hell. He did not expect for him to do him like that. But they did, which I think was respectable. And I think that Cam knowing her and knowing how, her body language and everything, how she reacted to what he was doing, that she was uncomfortable with what he was doing. So, you gotta go, bro. You my man. I even seen some, they had showed a clip of outtakes where Cam told the man to stop rolling, to just kind of let him know and give context of what he was doing and how it was disrespectful and he needed to stop, and he kept going. So he did that to himself. And you're gonna respect a person's space. You're gonna respect what they're doing and how they doing what they're doing, right? So I just wanna say, Cam, big ups, man. I commend you, on coming at, what I'm saying, and handling that the way that you handled it. So I'm gonna say, big salutes. Camron, you just keep showing, what I'm saying, what a class act you are, and how a boss supposed to move, bro. I just really appreciate how you doing what you doing. Keep doing it, bro. So we gonna get to Cam and Dame. I guess a mistake there, right? Cam and Dame. Cam go to the show, you know what I'm saying? Talk with Flick. Cam airs Dame out yesterday, you guys. Aired them out. Put them dead on blast for everything, all the lies, all the stuff that this man keep coming up with, and reasons that he's been looking and being made to look the way that he's being made to look, right? Um, um, that was ridiculous. That he, my bad, y'all. That was ridiculous, all the stuff that he's been saying. So Cam kind of aired out a lot of things that I'm not gonna go too far into because, like I said, you guys saw the show. I kind of appreciated, him calling them out for all the, falsehoods and speaking on the BS that he's been speaking of. Dame went on the Breakfast Club and just basically told a bald-faced lie about him being the chairman of Revolt, and now he's Cam's boss, and he think it's feminine when people talk about other people money and um, broke boys and all this type of stuff. So he's doing a lot of capping, and like Cam said, he didn't know that bro was a capper like that. That you just lied that much, but apparently he did. I even did a little research myself. A Google. To see if this man was really chairman, because he spoke a good game. He had a thing in VAB that had a whole article that was on the VAB website that said that Dame was, and had a statement from the CEO, Tabario, name is Debario. I can't pronounce. I can't remember his name, but whatever. The brother who actually went up. When you Google it, you first see it says no, Dame Dash is not the CEO, chairman of Revolt. And this guy, the CEO, is the one who was debunking this. Okay, they had a whole thing. I don't know if Dame had that put out or someone just put it out to where it's like Dame was going to be the CEO or he is the chairman of Revolt. But and even had an article in there with a statement with the brother name saying that like verifying. Well, they went back again, and the guy came back out and said again that was false. He's not the CEO. They were in talks to do a partnership with Dame to license his show and some other shows and maybe movies off of his network, American New. I'm gonna give a plug to Dame, American New Network. I think as black men we still supposed to be able to shed light on each other's companies. And that's what I was doing. I'm just extending that, to my audience. But I would say it's like ridiculous that he made up all these lies and all of these stories about him doing that, and you talk about people fabricating things and making up stuff and lying about stuff that they don't even understand, right? And then you talked about how um that you got all of these announcements that's coming out and you finna bust the bubble, you doing like whatever, and they just debunked it, and you look really stupid, for doing that. uh did it work with getting him in the algorithm? Yes. Him coming on our dialogue, talking and showing off his dentures or whatever, his false teeth. And what diamonds? I got diamonds. Like, it's crazy, but whatever. So it's getting him a lot of traction, though, right? And it's bringing a lot of awareness to his network. A lot of awareness to him, himself. And which would help. Bad publicity, good publicity, all publicity is publicity. It brings eyeballs to you. So I would say, great job on that, Dame. You are bringing eyeballs to you. So Cam went on a whole tangent, and they sitting here laughing, talking about how you should have never went on there with the eye patch and taking your teeth out to address this man making yourself look stupid. Like I said the same thing. Like, brother, I don't think you should have did that. It did not help, and it looked bad. And he's saying how Dame saying he got a bunch of yes men, but he would at the wonder or even ask the question of who do you have over there with you, right? Because you have to have a bunch of yes men for them to allow you to do that. And I would have to agree. Brother, you looked it ridiculous. And whatever you wanted to say, I think your silence, sometimes less is more, And you should have waited at least till you got the dentures, to address what's going on with the situation. But he didn't. He had to rush and jump out there to respond back because he was hurt behind what was being said about him. So you kind of made a buffoon of yourself. Didn't help the situation. You just gave this man more ammunition to keep coming at you. And I would say he did an awesome job yesterday on his show. We'll break it down who you were. And I think that the way that he even broke his show down, how he does his show, I think is awesome. I like Talk with Flea. He got a very good setup, a very good production team. Whatever his team around him and how they doing what they doing is great. You know, you have the freestyle battle where he declares a winner every week and they move on to the next round. I think it's a cash prize as well. He did an interview with on there. He then broke down the situation with you, addressed the whole thing with you, talked and let his people that you call yes men that Dan, like Sin and Larry and everybody else that they are, was just yes men for Cam, and they kind of proved that they're not. They're business partners. They tell Cam when he's wrong, or even when he's wrong about a quote that he may have made. Like Larry corrected me, said, so, what you said, well, yes, man, let me correct you. It wasn't 5 years that Boogie, and that was crazy. Like now, Dan keeps saying, like, I don't think it's right that you bring my kids into it. But for him to say that this man's son, at 20-some years old, not a kid, 24, 23, 24, 25 years old, living with another grown man because you have your own, but can't, Dame, you're doing so good, right? For your family office that your son needed to live with somebody else for 5 years or whatever. But Larry said no, it was like 2, maybe 2.5 years, right? So he even corrected Cam on that. He didn't let him go all the way to that point. He said, Boogie was family to him. He had love for him. I liked it that these guys, even though you bashed them, they gave you grace. Like even Sin break it down. Like I know how you saying whatever, you put leather to his face and he's like, come on, man, me. He said, I thought it was gonna be a snapping thing or something, just as far as being funny. He was like, but you really took it personal, and you taking this very personal, and you need to um get it together, brother. Like y'all Harlem, like you said, y'all snap, y'all do that, but you kind of reversed on what you're doing that, and like you said, you do have a lot of yes men over there. Well, I'm not gonna hang on too long about what Cam did. Like I said, I think you guys seen for sure. It was awesome. It was a great show. But I will hit on one more thing that Cam did. And I'm gonna say, Cam, is genius. Well, dude, you was wow. You wow. So he put a clip up there. My man, legendary Queens MC, MC Shan, talking about people tagging him in on the video with Dame with his teeth out. And Shan on there with no teeth in his mouth, top or bottom, talking and trying to be jazzy and slick, like, get you some of these. They talking about, yeah, Shan, you shouldn't be saying nothing because you ain't got no teeth in your mouth. But when I do put mine in my mouth, they stay up in there. They ain't falling out. I ain't got to hold my jaw like my jaw broke or something. But dude, look how crazy you look. And Cam, it's wild for putting that brother on there. It's wild for putting that clip up there, even though Shan did it to herself. Because you put that video out there, Shan, and you was talking really jazzy about Dane when boy, boy, no pun intended, you should have not done that. You should have not done that yourself. Somebody should have told him, do not go on there. Do not put that out there because they're going to clown you. Everybody's going to use it. You're talking about them tagging you on videos with him with his top teeth out, and you have no teeth in your mouth. You have no room to speak, dude. None. Shan, get it together, brother. Get it together. Whoa. You was tripping. But you are great. It is great marketing. That was awesome. Because you just smashed Dane. And I don't even know if you was really trying, but I think you also just crashed Shan as well. That was crazy. Like I said, I'm gonna move on from that though. My next thing I'm gonna do, I'm still gonna stick on Dame though, because I know everybody saw the Breakfast Club. This dude on the Breakfast Club was hilarious. He's always been entertaining. I gotta say that. There's never been a time that I could say that Dame has not been entertaining. He has always been very entertaining, right? And he didn't disappoint on the Breakfast Club. He came in there, he spoke about things, they went back and forth. He tried to control the room and control the narrative that was going on in the room, and Charlamagne would not let him do it. But I will say this. As much as he had, he was bothered by what was going on or what was being said, the narrative that's been put on him, he really did have Charlamagne bothered. He triggered him. He was saying things about Charlamagne that made Charlamagne put him in a position to where, and he always showed that he's supposed to be the most unbothered, right? He don't care about anything. Everything's funny to me. Everything's a joke. Some of that stuff that Dame was saying was hitting the nerve. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let me show y'all something. This is how you know when Charlamagne is bothered by something that somebody's saying. Charlamagne does like this with his mouth. He can't control his facial looks. When, even though he's trying to hide it, he's not trying not to show anger within it, but it's triggered. You can see where he's triggered. And his mouth does some funny, something funny, like what he like looking crazy. And he got him a couple of times, with him feeling like Charlamagne is a coward, and that was triggering. Him saying that he'll punch Charlamagne in his mouth, and I did respect. Charlamagne said that we gonna fight, and Dame said, and he told Damon, you'll get your A whooped, and Dame said, oh no, you will not whoop me. This and that. Nope. Ain't no way you gonna do that. And he said, you ain't gonna do it anyway because you gonna run. So he done a lot of things to trigger. They went back and forth. But the narrative that he was trying to run, Charlamagne wasn't going for. He wasn't gonna let him do it. And he kept interrupting. You interrupted me. That triggers me. That da-da-da. Like, dude, this is not your show. You don't control what goes on here at the Breakfast Club. You just don't. Nobody cares about what you're saying here because you're not the boss here, right? And then he told Envy he was the chatty patty. You see Envy in history, and I think you're broke and you don't have anything, and this and that. And then you got him going back and forth with Dame. And then he said, I don't think he said, all of your houses, all of my houses is bigger than yours. He did some kid shit. He said, well, how old is you? He's like, oh, now we're gonna go there. You trying to pull that? He's trying to trigger me. And this and that. You see that Jess? And he kept trying to go back to Jess, but she's sitting there trying to hold her laugh in, because she's looking at you like, oh my God, you really let these guys, or you really letting this situation bother you, and you came on this show and you're embarrassing yourself the way that you're embarrassing yourself, but it's for content, right? It's for clicks. So they allowed you to keep going, right? So what I would say with that is, I think he called him Count Dumbula. He got very petty and childish to me. Dang. With the name calling and things they were saying and all that, it just looked stupid. You wasn't being funny. It wasn't even funny. It was ridiculous. I mean, I think you would have to reverse that. You looked very dumb, brother. Very dumb on that show. And you embarrassed yourself on that show, to the point to where your OG was sitting behind you. And I'm gonna have to apologize to my brother Daniel for what I said before about him. But I just felt like that in that movie. I don't know, I don't think that I've never seen him in any other movies before. I think when I did look a little bit more, but I think he was a little bit more over animated. And wasn't the best production for me, the Honor Up movie. But I think he was even embarrassed by what he was doing up in there, and I don't think Dame didn't even see it. You can see the brother body movement, everything. But I would say this, brother, I super respect you, and I know why that man calls you his OG. when I don't know how much older you can be than Dame when y'all look around the same age. Maybe you're a few years older than him, maybe not, but maybe he's calling you that by the way that you carry yourself. But the stuff that you were saying about your wife and the way how men need to stand up and we can introduce our sons to each other so they can have a rapport where it's more like a family thing. The unity that you are preaching and the things that you putting forth as far as men being men and how you're supposed to carry yourself and how you're supposed to be there for your spouse, your partner, and all that. I salute you, brother. I salute you. I respect you more than I ever have before. And that's not to say that I ever not respected you because I don't even know you, but from the times that I did see you, every time I saw you and I saw you speak, I think that you spoke with character, integrity, and an unbiased way of going about it. Rest in peace to your queen. Um, God forbid I ever go through that with mine. But if I do, I hope I'm strong enough to do what you did. No, scratch that. You gave me an example of how to be with mine, how to stay by her side. If God forbid, like I said, she go before me, I could be that rock, that solid part, because she is that for me, like you said, George is for you. What I did not like, and what even more so make me say, Dame's a clown. While this brother explaining the situation with his wife and explaining the things that they're doing in Harlem, Heaven in Harlem program that you start. I want to give a shout out to that. I want to bring light to that on my platform as well. I'm going to even look into it. And whenever I do another show or clip or whatever, I will elaborate a little bit more on what's going on there to bring awareness to, my audience. That while you was doing that he kept coming up there. Like you acting as if you was giving him a platform, but you still trying to use what this man's saying to disapprove what's going on with Larry because you have a problem with Larry. And the brother was saying, yeah, okay, if you not, then we not speaking to him. But when he found out what was going on with Larry and knowing that Larry, losing his wife as well, and he going through it, and he just told this man, I don't care what's going on, brother, you need to be by her side. And if you don't, I'll whatever to you. Put my hands on you if I find out that you're not standing beside her and being there for her and with her. But all while he's trying to explain this, you steady trying to use, yeah, because he said he'll whoop Larry. And da-da-da-da. He like, dang, let me finish what I'm saying. He had to even check you. And that's your OG. You got so much respect for him that even when he was speaking his heart out, you had to keep coming up there and trying to use to get back at other people that he was trying to say that, dude, regardless of however we feel about what's going on, that man's losing his wife right now. And he wanted to salute him, and he said that, I salute my brother Larry, this and that. I understand where you at, and I'm here for you. My prayers is for you and your family. Dude, that was the most honorable thing that I done seen ever. One of the most honorable things I done seen ever. Not the most. Let me refrain from saying that. But I did not like to see Dame doing what he was doing. Brother, you too old. You too old, Dame, to be doing what you're doing. You're doing too much, right? You're saying too much. And you're making a complete and total mockery of yourself, your family. And you tried to do it to your friend. But he got too much integrity and too much real in him to even let it happen because he stopped you cold in your tracks while you was trying. That's all I got to say about Dame Dash. Wish you the best of luck. Um, I hope that your health, improves. I hope that you're doing well. I see something when Joe Budden said that he looks sick to him at the Breakfast Club. I didn't see that on that video with that patch in his eye and his teeth out. He looked at that there on the Breakfast Club. Brother looked pretty healthy to me. I didn't see sickness, but maybe I'm not seeing something that others can. So I can't say that Joe is wrong either. But I didn't see sickness, Joe. I saw I saw a pretty healthy, decent looking brother. He was clean cut. He was together, and I think that's about it. I'm going in with that. I'm gonna let that go. Right. Um, Next thing I'm gonna go into is I want to speak about something that I think that is very serious, right, and could be um, detrimental to us as a community, and um, that is the hangings of black men. I mean, I even think one of the stories I heard is the hanging of a white man in the South, Mississippi, North Carolina, I think, Alabama. All these hangings, and with every hanging, the autopsy or the coroner's report is no signs of struggle or force and this and that. Like, so all these people just around this time while this going on is just deciding to hang themselves and from trees. Like, why did they have to do that? Like, and they saying it's camera footage is last, brother, that the family even speaking on to you guys, like, oh yeah, well, the autopsy will be out today. It's supposed to come out later today. I don't know um, what that's gonna show. I know Ben Crump, attorney Ben Crump, is involved in it now, but this is very disturbing to me, and I just wanted to elaborate on it a little bit because I understand all of the things that's going on with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and all the rhetoric that's being spewed on each side. Especially I would say from the right, towards the left, you know, and all of the divisiveness that I see within that. That this story is almost being overshadowed. It's not being overshadowed to us because we're black, and we have a history that's very terrible that would never let us forget or even ignore hearing anything like this, right? Never forget slavery. Never forget, so we can't repeat this, but I think it's being repeated. I think it's trying to be repeated. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But I will say that I don't, it's very disturbing to me to hear that. And I think it's even more disturbing that it's not being spoken of more than what it is, right? It's terrible, for anyone to get that news about a child of theirs or a loved one of theirs, being found hung in by a tree or um, just to get that call. It's terrible to me. But I just want to bring awareness, on my side of it. I would say you guys take a look into it. Pay attention to this before it gets swept under the rug. It's a whole movement out there called Black Lives Matter, right? And this would be the time for that group or that movement to even be speaking of what's going on with that because the light is not being shined on that right now because to society and the world, something else is much brighter and need to be shined more with the assassination of this man. That we are being overlooked. Not to say that they shouldn't shed light on what happened with that man, but what I'm saying is that I think that it can be shared. That spotlight can be shared because it's dangerous, you know. Uh, that rhetoric or that understanding, and if we're going to look at it as if it's nothing, right? Then that's how they're going to look at it. You know, the people who are perpetrating these crimes could be doing that. I mean, they keep saying that there's no, signs of struggle or no broken bones or this and that. What if these brothers are being chloroformed, chlorophyll, knocked out, picked up, taken to a tree, rope tied around their neck, noose tied around their neck? This is just could I say, there's no facts in this. There's no facts that's showing that this is actually happening. I mean, maybe if we can get some toxicology reports on these brothers within their autopsy, because they have to do that when they do an autopsy. Maybe we can get an understanding of that and could disprove what I'm saying right now, which I don't know. I'm not saying that this is actually happening, but what if this is happening? I'm just saying, what if they are knocking these brothers out, putting nooses around their neck, hanging them from a tree, and by the time they do wake up, they're almost at the brink of dying from asphyxiation, and boom, it wouldn't be a struggle there, right? It wouldn't be no signs of struggle or anything. But how is it not any sign of struggle when you hang yourself and you choke and your body's gonna automatically tense up? Your body's gonna automatically jerk and thrash right about, which would be a struggle. So how is it no signs of struggle? I mean, even the sign of them just hanging, it would show a sign of struggle, right? Because you're struggling to breathe. Your body just it's a what you call that uh, uh, self-preservation. It's gonna try to save itself. You're gonna try to get up. You're gonna try to breathe. You're gonna try to do something, right? So it's gonna be a struggle there with them being hung. So for them to say that, I don't think that's a good enough excuse. That it doesn't show any signs of struggle. That has to be a lie, because there has to be some type of sign of struggle. Like I said, unless they're asleep all the way to the point to where they die of asphyxiation because they're knocked out. They have been knocked out with a drug so powerful that they never even woke up, even being hung. So broken bones and this and that. Like I said, what if they're being knocked out? It's no be no signs of struggle. What if they've been put a roofie up in their drink and they fall out and they take these brothers to these areas, or these people to these areas, and they do this? Like I said, I don't want to just say blacks, because I heard like one of the incidents at a bridge or something like that. It was a white man that was a victim of one of these. So I just want to bring some awareness to that, and I just want to see us look a little bit more into that and pay attention to what's going on with that, because it's troubling to me to hear something like this, especially where it's happening in these southern states where that type of thing was common years ago, and there's still a possibility of these things still happening, right? I mean, I know on the campus of what was it, HBCU or something, but they hung a noose on the tree, and one of them was a big thing about it. Some years back when the Black Lives Matter protest things was going on and all that, they done this at a campus, I think Mississippi or somewhere down there in the South. So this is not something that is not, being antagonized or whatever, or even spoken of, or even like an idea. Like you have people out there who thinking about this, for them to even do that, even though they didn't hang anyone, but you put a noose on a tree that they used to hang people from. Man, So that's my opinion and thoughts on that situation and those situations that I think is very disturbing, and I think that we need to pay attention to. So, think that we touched on enough of what I'm going to touch on today, ladies and gentlemen. Um, this show about everything and nothing at all. I'm going to bring to a close. Uh, Before I do leave, I would like to ask all to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications on new episodes and clips from the show. Um, Again, hit that follow button. I have I have campaign, like I said, the march to 10,000 subscribers. Check it out. Click on these videos. Tap into what's being said on this. Follow me. Help me get there. I'm gonna say peace. My condolences to all the families that have lost theirs, loved ones, and suffering and going through pain right now. The world is kind of suffering, I would say, you guys. Oh, one more thing I did want to touch on was Jimmy Kimmel Live. You guys seen that? I don't know if we're paying attention to what's happening, you guys. The president is doing things and saying things in a way as if he's a king or a dictator. And these companies are doing things and putting out things to appease him because they feel like that they're at threat of funding. It's like the same thing with the New York governor endorsing the mayoral candidate Mandani, right? I say his name wrong, but now for you to actually say that she could probably even lose federal funding behind doing this is very alarming, and I think that it's even more alarming that no one's even acting like it's nothing wrong with him saying these things. This is a problem, guys. Supposed to be a democracy, but you can get kicked off your show if it's something that he don't like. You can lose funding if you backing somebody that you feel like you want to back, right? But it's fine for them to do that, right? It's not a problem to, redistrict things to make more seats in Texas so the Republican have more of a majority in the midterms and you can push through more of the agenda that he wants, right? It's fine to do that, but the other side can't do anything to try to even help themselves. Like they're saying, she's doing that because she expecting for them guys to back her for her midterm campaign, her reelection, right? So what's the difference? With you redistricting Texas 5 years ahead of time, right? Because in 2030, when they do the census, um, they'll be they'll be um, 2030 when they do the census, there'll be a time that they can do that. If the numbers are showing or reflecting that they need more, seats here or seats there, that can happen. So what's the rush other than, like you said, he want a majority in the midterm for the second half of his term. So I just want everybody to pay attention to what's going on. Be open and understanding and watchful and mindful of what's happening, because what's happening is very serious. Like I said, Sinsky's opinion. I'm out.